WXVT, Greenville, Greenwood, Cleveland.
Delta News at 10 starts now.
Hi everybody, I'm Kelly Rittenauer. Coming up on your Delta News at 10, one man is dead tonight as the result of a one-vehicle accident. And bond is set for the man responsible for robbing Minsang Grocery. Those stories in a minute, but first, here's Chief Meteorologist Vernon Turner with a first look at your weather. Vernon.
All right, thank you, Kelly, and good evening to everyone across the Delta on this Saturday, January 18th. Right now, finally getting a little bit of precipitation in the Delta according to our laser line satellite and radar. A few clouds coming through. We have a weak frontal system coming into play, but as we look at the Doppler system, I'm really debating really if anything is reaching the surface right now. Doppler system is indicating very, very light rainfall, a drizzle of that, a little bit of a Greenville, but I just walked outside, nothing falling. So even though our systems are indicating rainfall within the area, I really think pretty much we're just not getting anything actually eventually hitting the surface, just because we've just been dealing with very dry conditions, and we're maintaining that as we go into the late nighttime hours. So we can see right now low to mid 50s across the area. Greenville 55, dew points in the upper 20s to low 30s. The highest Vicksburg at 36 degrees. Once again, we're continuing the windy conditions. That was the cause of those red flag warnings and those fire warnings that we had earlier today with the dry, windy conditions, but they were allowed to expire. Good news there. We're going to see another frontal system come into play later on in our forecast period, and then we're going to see another drop in temperature. So, Kelly, we continue that roller coaster temperature trend. So more on that to come in my full weather forecast. Until then, back to you.
Thanks, Vernon. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. Topping our news tonight, a fatal car wreck on I-55 takes the life of a Louisiana man. It happened around 6:55 this morning. Troopers, along with Carroll County deputies, Carroll County Fire Rescue officials, and Elliott Fire Rescue officials were dispatched to a one-vehicle accident on I-55 about 2 miles north of the Duck Hill exit. 28-year-old Rontaire Phillip from LaPlace, Louisiana, was traveling north in this Chevrolet pickup truck when he veered off the right side of the highway. His vehicle continued to travel off the road, overturning and colliding with several trees. Upon arrival, Carroll County's fire rescue officials and Elliott Fire Rescue officials spent nearly an hour trying to extricate Phillip from the vehicle. Phillip was pronounced dead at the scene. The accident is still under investigation by the Mississippi Highway Patrol. Well, bond has been set for Elton Harper and Cordero Robinson at $5 million. 26-year-old Cordero Robinson of Greenville and 19-year-old Elton Harper Jr. were arrested after robbing Minsang Grocery in Greenville. They are both charged with armed robbery, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and attempted murder. They are both still in jail. Well, the 19th annual Martin Luther King Parade made its way down Washington Street today. The parade theme this year is Living the Dream, a day on and not a day off. If you couldn't make it out to the parade today, here's what you missed. Let's take a listen. All the entries had to contain symbolism reflecting the theme of this year's parade. In Winterville, a local professor goes over the history of Native Americans in the Mid-Atlantic. Dr. Ethan Schmidt just joined Delta State University as an assistant professor last year, but his knowledge on Native American history is well documented. The published author had a talk today at the Winterville Mounds on a Mid-Atlantic Native American named Kakakoeski. Dr. Schmidt told audience the importance she had on building the legal bond between the Virginia English government in the 17th century and her people, the Pamunkey tribe.
That they assumed that women weren't important in Native society either. And one of the reasons is that because women weren't important in European society, Europeans tended to not pay attention to women, Native women. However, what this article demonstrates is that women were actually crucially important, and that's sort of the argument the article makes, that it was only a woman actually could be the one that could create this relationship between the Virginia government and her people.
The importance of Kaka Koeski's work is still present today because the legal agreement she was responsible for still stands to this day. Here in Greenville, families were treated to a special show while they munched on their lunchtime meal. Ronald McDonald paid a special visit to the new McDonald's on Highway 82 today. Mr. McDonald greeted customers as they came in, taking pictures with kids and even workers at McDonald's. He also performed multiple shows while customers enjoyed their purchased food and free cake. Kids were also given free goodie bags and face painting. This family event by McDonald's was their way of showing their customer appreciation and celebrating the store opening, which took place 3 months ago. James Dutschke of Tupelo has pleaded guilty to developing and possessing the biological agent ricin and then using it in mail ricin lace letters to the White House. CBS correspondent Carice Jackman has the story from Oxford.
James Dutschke will soon face jail time. The 42-year-old accused of developing and mailing ricin lace letters to President Barack Obama, Senator Roger Wicker, and Lee County Justice Court Judge Sadie Holland pleaded guilty to all 4 counts. Dutschke is now facing at least 25 years behind bars.
It was a compromise plea. It resolved the federal case and the state case. It was also a compromise in that depending on whose experts you believe and whether this substance was toxic or not, it's the difference in a life sentence and a sentence that would have been less than 25 years. So this was right in the middle, and I think it was a fair and good result.
At times, it appeared Dutschke didn't think it was. He hesitated and choked up several times as the judge asked him if he understood the plea agreement.
He's very particular and wanted to be sure all the facts were correct. So I wasn't worried.
FBI agents, prosecutors, and investigators attended the hearing. Kevin Curtis, the man previously accused, however, did not. His family's attorney tells us the family is relieved, but still believes federal and state leaders owe him an apology.
When you have the entire United States government stand up and say Kevin Curtis did this, and you have an FBI agent say on the stand 3 times he was 100% sure it was Kevin, I mean, that's tough.
She says they may file a civil lawsuit against Dutschke and others involved in the case.
Almost everything they used to arrest Mr. Dutschke for, they had knowledge of, but yet April 23rd, they're still fighting to keep Kevin Curtis in jail, and that's troubling to me.
Part of Dutschke's agreement states no additional charges will be tried, including one involving a failed attempt to send a letter while in custody. In Oxford, Carice Jackman, WCBI News.
A sentencing date has not yet been set.